Definitely not, definitely not. Okay, continue, all right. Skip, skip. No, skip, skip. Skip, skip. Oh, we are already at B11. Sorry. Okay, I think the screen sharing is very skippy. Yeah, that's why I cannot follow very well. Sorry, yeah. Right. I think this is the nature of iPad. I don't think it's your connection. Yeah. So I'm gonna just find myself first because we're too delayed already. Right. If you see a question which is clearly, standard enthalpy of reaction, just tell me lah. I'm gonna open it myself. Right. Yeah. I think just the iPad very skippy lah. Right. Find very quick. Oh, there you go. Okay, now I'm going to share my screen, right? Okay. So again, let me iterate that this is not what I prepared, right? To keep it pure. Okay, look at this question. There's a boiling point, yada, 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 right? I'm going to just go to the end of the paper, the question, and then you see this bond energy, lah. Calculate the bond energy. This is not the enthalpy of the reaction. It's not, but it is definitely something linked to it, lah. Okay, so maybe we'll just use this so that I understand where you are. Okay, please read. I'm sorry, I just put this in Jamboard, right? It's just the easiest way. So it is now in Jamboard, page 5. Okay, there you go. Now let's go to Jamboard and then let's discuss it there.
So do I do the question?
Oh, you read first. You read first. I'll zoom in straight to the point. So just to clarify that you understand the question, I'm going to skip question A and no, you're going to skip question A and then we're going to go to question B. Would you please tell me how you would do question B without doing it, if this is possible?
Heptane.
Your answer is heptane because?
Because the enthalpy changes
The biggest per mole, right? The biggest per mole.
Yeah.
And let me ask you, minus, they're all minus. Is that a good thing? Is minus a good thing or a bad thing here? Or don't know?
Good.
And why is that so?
Gives off more energy.
Right, more minuses, it seems to be giving off more energy. You are correct, which sounds like what we want the field to do, right? However, you might be surprised if the answer is not actually happening. I'm gonna show you later that The minus 4,800 is not the only thing you have to consider. If that is your consideration, I think you are ignoring the 1 kg. Okay? Again, you're ignoring the 1 kg issue. The delta H is given in kg over mole, not kj, sorry, kj over kg. It's kj over mole, right? I mean, they even give you an MR. There must be a reason why, because most of the time they give us things that we can use, lah. Okay. So do we get to ignore the 1 kg, or do we have to deal with it? What do you think?
Deal with it.
Then how do we deal with it? What do you think?
Not sure.
No. I believe this is part of your basic chemistry lah. The basics of chemistry in O level involves mole. That means we don't like kg at all. But the question will always give us kg or gram, because that's a very realistic thing in daily life. In daily life, we don't measure mole. In daily life, we measure kg. No surprises there. But since we learn chemistry, we learn that kg is very awkward to use. We want to use mole. If you do not know why, we'll talk about it again next time. But when I see kg in chem, I think I don't like it. I want it to be a mole. But I can totally understand that the question will give me kg or g lah. Now, certainly, you know how to change kg into mole. Yes or no? What do you think, Ria? Can we change kg into mole?
Can change grams to mole.
All right. So I give you 1,000 gram, right? 1,000 gram. I give you methane. So please, how do we change 1,000 gram to mole?
Divide by molar mass.
By 16, correct? Which is a rather large number. You can just
Mhm.
press the calculator. But this is a large number compared to heptane. Heptane will be 1,000 also divided by 100 lah. You get what I mean, right? Propane will be 1,000
Mhm.
divided by 44 lah, right? That's normal thing. Now we have all the moles here. Now my brain say I'm very happy with mole. Okay, I am persuading you to think likewise lah. Mole is the best thing in chemistry. We just have to go for mole every time, no exception. Now, how does that link with your delta HKJ over mole, so to speak?
Multiply.
Which is, you know, your 800 and whatever. So now you're gonna start doing it lah. Okay, this is now simple calculation, right? We have thought through the chemistry. I want you to write down 3 numbers here and compare them. You can now feel free to do it. Yeah, okay, good. I want the final answer only. So in your calculator, just press everything whack, whack, whack. Yeah, no need to give me the intermediate numbers. Difference is not that much, but it may surprise you that you're supposed to bring methane, lah, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Okay. I just want to confirm that this is not exactly what you're asking. This is not right. You're asking something else originally, correct or not?
Mm-hmm.
All right, then now let's talk about question D. I'm going to skip question C because question D is, I think, the most similar one to your original question, right? Now, what is the first thing that you need to do to start off question D? And what do you think? Let's not do anything. Let's just talk.
Chemical equation.
Chemical equation, I like it a lot. Could you write that? Could you draw something? Because I'm not sure whether you know what methane is. Do you know what methane is? If you don't, that's because OChem is not taught yet. I need to give you. So do you know that? Wonderful. All right. Then how does the reaction go?
This is right.
Thing. You need to consider the balancing. Of course, the two I agree, but I think it's not fully balanced. The balancing should be done automatically. Okay, wonderful. Anything else for the balancing? Why is that a tree? Wait, what? Why is that a tree? All right. Now, are you happy or are you still thinking?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Now, the balancing seems to be something that we ought to do, lah, Okay, you're right. We should or ought to do that. My question is, does that affect what we're going to do next? If your balancing is wrong, does that matter? Or it's just a matter of the first mark?
It matters.
Why does it matter for the next working?
Because the bond breaking and bond forming energy is calculated from that.
You are totally correct. So it sounds like you know what you're trying to do, lah, right? Now, are we addressing your original concern or are we repeating what you already know?
Uh, I think I know how to do it, but I don't know how to like find the bond energy of a specific bond.
Okay. So, okay, I'll take over for a while. I'll just explain something. These three things, or rather, let's just focus on the methane one. Is this guy gonna be useful or should we forget about it?
Um,
What do you think? What do you think?
you can forget about it for now.
So we're gonna use it later, or maybe, or what? What do you think?
Oh, you can use it.
We can, or we should, or we need to later. I mean, is this an option, or is this something that we need to use sooner or later?
Need to use.
I agree with you. Now I'm just rewriting the reaction so you have more space, right? So CH4. Now, in fact, I'm gonna offer you something. See, just to make things slightly clearer. You don't have to do this, but I find this to be very useful lah, for most people, right? Plus 2, I believe, right? 2. So instead of drawing 2, I'll just draw like that. That makes sense? And then it will be CO2, right?
Mm-hmm.
1 CO2, just to confirm. If you remember the balance
Yeah.
reaction just now. Okay, and then 2 H2O, right? So I'll just draw 2 H2O lah. Right? I'm so sorry, that's a bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's wrong. That's wrong. There you go. To be absolutely clear, I think we gotta break all these 4, right? And I gotta break these 2 also. And then I think all this has to be formed lah, because we don't see it in the reactant, right? That's the simple logic of enthalpy of reaction, right? Okay, who is gonna be broken and who's gonna be formed? I'm just drawing it for clarity purposes lah. That's all, right? Now, for the C double O, it is now very clear why they give us C double O lah, because clearly this is not C single O. Okay, the rest, however, are single bonds, and here are the question marks. This is what they want. Now, if I do it this way, do you think you can do it yourself, or would you prefer some help? Tell me your preference, Ria.
Should I try first?
If you feel that you can try, please, please, please. I mean, by drawing it, I'm actually giving you a lot of hints already, like making sure you're thinking about the right thing. If you think you can do something, go and do it. Seems fine. Okay. What you're doing seems very reasonable. Very, very reasonable. Okay. All makes sense. Nothing fancy. Here's the last part. How do you deal with it? You deal with it like this. Oh, okay. Here's where it is confusing lah, maybe. Now, at the last step, Priya, I mean, you're doing very well until the 3320. Yeah, I can totally follow your working, and you seem to know roughly what you're supposed to do. On the last step, though, here, do you, so to speak, rely on a formula?
No.
Then, how do you decide which one to minus which? There are only two options, right? It's the first minus second or the second minus first. That's just the only two options. So how do you decide that? We'll call this 1 and we'll call this 2. You decide 1 minus 2. May I know how you decide on that? Why not 2 minus 1, for example?
Because enthalpy changes bond breaking one bond forming.
Oh, by the way, sorry, sorry, by the way, I can point out something else that is also weird. Aren't you supposed to have a negative here? Is it a negative or a positive this? I'm very confused right now. I'm sorry, this guy, is that a negative or a positive?
Oh, it's positive.
Positive, okay, then there's nothing wrong with that, okay. I was a bit confused, yes, okay, good. Okay, there you go. Okay, sorry then, you're explaining your decision, so I'm sorry, enthalpy what?
Because enthalpy changes bond breaking minus forming.
Oh, that means you're relying on the formula lah.
Yeah.
Okay, then that's fine. At least I know what you're thinking. Maybe you're using another thing, right? If the formula is given, then I guess it's likely that you are correct. But before you check the answer key, let me see one more time. Hmm. I agree with you. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. Following the formula is obviously gonna be correct lah. So now, just check the answer key and just confirm that you're okay lah.
Wait, but I don't know which paper this is from because
That's from me. I'm sorry. No, never mind. Okay, you're correct. Okay, here's the question. Does this answer your original concern, or is it something else that you're worried about?
I think like I don't get the definition yet.
The definition of the standard, okay, so the definition of this thing. So when you ask me standard enthalpy of reaction, well, I guess this qualifies as standard enthalpy of reaction. In this case, it is a standard enthalpy of combustion. Why? Because it's a combustion reaction. That's all. So you're a bit worried about the definition of this guy.
Yeah.
According to the formula, because surprise, surprise, most definition and formula are interchangeable, right? Surprise, surprise. Then one definition you can use is the difference between the bond breaking and bond forming in a reaction. I'm sorry. The difference of the energy, you have to say something like needed to break a bond and energy released by formation of new bond in a reaction. which basically means you do have to memorize which one needs and which one releases lah. Something like that.
Okay.
Ria, are you okay, Ria?
Yeah.
All right, okay. Uh, sh- shall we practice something similar, or can we try something new?
I think we can like move on to the next thing that
All right,
we'll do in school.
all right, all right. Just to confirm, do you know what is the next thing?
Rate of reaction.
If I say that that's not gonna be a difficult chapter, you can study it by yourself and then you clarify with me lah. Would you believe me?
Mm.
Right? Then I'll leave
Yeah.
it to you. I'll leave it to you because obviously you can understand many things, right? What's the next one? Do you know? Now?
Electrolysis.
That will be a half chapter lah. That will be a half chapter. Usually after electrolysis comes OChem law, the biggest chapter of all. So electrolysis and OChem are usually where I focus our effort in Sec 4 lah. Do you mind if we skip rate-out reaction? Go to electrolysis.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So look at the next page. I'm gonna explain a little bit about electrolysis. Okay. Straight blank. Gonna learn something. Right. Okay. There's a battery for whatever reason. Remind me again, you're not a physics student, right?
I am.
Are you? You are. So you know that, I'm sorry, your physics have not entered the DC circuit, have it?
No.
All right. So when you enter DC circuit, then you encounter battery again, lah. Maybe the same as Sec 2 or Sec 1, right? But my point is battery is a physics thing. Then suddenly battery appears in this one particular topic, lah, electrolysis, right? So this is a very weird drawing. I put a battery with a wire. Why is it very weird? Look at the wire. The wire is not even connected to each other, which is, according to physics, this is not supposed to work, according to physics, right? So, but in chemistry, for some strange reason, this is gonna work because of this thing, this electrolyte. Electrolyte is a very fancy word for ionic substance. You do know what's ionic substance, right? So the electrolyte will be ionic, which is either liquid because it can conduct electricity, or aqueous because it can conduct electricity, not gonna be a solid because it cannot conduct electricity. So far, so good? These are all Sec 3. So, surprise, surprise, there's a slight change from physics. This electrolyte will serve as the connection between the two wires. So, current can flow. So far, so good?
Yeah.
I'll give you a physics thing again. I'm covering the physics first. Physics are very interested in the current. Certainly, you have encountered questions that ask you to measure currents lah. Correct, yeah? In chemistry, we are not interested in current at all. Like, absolutely not. We're interested in the other guy, the main thing about chemistry, electrons. Okay, so you see a battery in chemistry, you think immediately, how does the electron flow? Now, do you need to memorize this, or do you already know how the electron flows?
How do electrons flow?
I need you to either remember or understand how electron flow. That is the first thing we talk about in this new chapter. If this doesn't make sense or it seems totally new, let me explain. Is it okay?
Like negative to positive?
I guess that's how electron flows. Ta-da! Not wrong at all. Definitely correct, always true. The reason why is because they can flip the battery. I mean, there are only two ways, right? You can flip the battery. Ta-da! Now you're
Yeah.
going to draw for us how the electron flow.
This way.
One goes in, right? Electron. Completed, one goes out. Okay. Complete the going out one or the returning electron. Okay, nice. With the electron sign, okay, so that you are not confused or your brain doesn't think about current. If your brain thinks about current, that means your brain are not thinking in chemistry, you're thinking in physics. Nothing wrong with that, but it's not going to work very well here. Okay, yeah? And I'm telling you this especially because you're a physics student. Because then you have a tendency to do certain things, especially when you enter the DC circuit chapter, which happens concurrently with the electrolysis. Kind of annoying. Okay? Right? So electron flow, then I'll tell you another chemistry thing, redox, right? Reduction, oxidation. Right now, you should be thinking, hey, the battery is forcing the electron. A battery has the ability to force electron to flow. That's basically what battery does, right? So the electron flows here, pop, and then flows out there, pop. Immediately, without memorization, we know reduction and oxidation is going to happen. Where will reduction happen and where will oxidation happen?
Mm.
Electron is forced in. Pop. Reduction, oxidation?
Where reduction and oxidation happen?
Yes. Surprise, surprise, there's redox immediately here. Electron force in. Huh. Electron force out. Hi. Which one is reduction? Which one's oxidation?
The first one is reduction.
You mean the left or the right?
Left.
All right, reduction. You're receiving electron or being forced to, and this one is oxidation. You're being stolen. The electron is being stolen from you. Oxidation. So reduction will happen here, and oxidation will happen here. Reduction is just the same thing as receiving electron. Oxidation is just the same thing as losing electron. That's all it means. So far, so good. Will this be okay?
Yeah.
Now, last thing before I ask you to redraw yourself, the wire is copper, correct? I am current. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm gonna ask you to erase that anyway later. Okay, so last thing, you know that wire is made of copper, at least from physics. I am preventing the copper from touching the electrolyte. The reason will be very obvious. How do I prevent it? Well, I'm going to attach something else here. Okay, this something else, I'm going to choose platinum, very fancy metal for now. And why do I choose platinum? Because platinum will not react. Will not react. There will be reaction happening here, guaranteed lah, yeah. I mean, chemistry is about reaction, ma. Now, platinum will not be the guy reacting. Will not. It will not react, which is to say it simplifies our thinking for now. If I let the copper touch, electrolysis will happen, whatever that means, yeah. But copper might react, complicate stuff. So again, I'm just using platinum to simplify the situation. So far, so good?
So if you use platinum, it will not react, basically.
Yeah, there are two options lah. Platinum very expensive, but nice. Graphite. Graphite will serve the same purpose. Can conduct, will not react. That's the requirement. Make sense or not? Can conduct, cannot react. Will not react more likely. Okay? So I need a conductor, but I need a conductor which will not react. Just to make my life easy. Okay? Anything else to clarify? I'm going to ask you when you're ready to clear this image, like clear the frame, and then gonna redraw all this. This is how we start. Now, when you're ready, clear, redraw. To indicate the electron, right? To indicate the electron. Okay, indicate who this guy is, right? And then I'll call this electrolyte because I haven't talked about it. Okay, good. All right. So now I'm going to use your drawing. Just going to expand this a little bit. Good job so far, yeah? Now, I'm going to choose the first electrolyte, which represents the simplest scenario. This first electrolyte will make us understand what electrolysis is. So everything depends on the electrolyte. I'm going to choose a very common guy, NaCl. However, there is something special about this NaCl. It's going to be liquid. Here I have a very hot fire at 800 degrees because the melting point of NaCl is very high. In fact, I think most of the time they don't use fire. Anyway, just pretend that they can heat NaCl to 800 degrees without actually damaging the container. Something a bit difficult to do, right? Not going to happen in lab, by the way. This is a very dangerous, extremely dangerous experiment. But we're just doing it on paper, so no problem. Okay, now tell me, according to Sec 3, NaCl liquid, what actually happened to the NaCl? Share my screen, but just ignore it. Ria, what happened to NaCl when it is liquid?
When it's heated.
Heated into liquid form, melted lah. So what will happen?
Not sure.
It
Boil.
will. It will. No. It will melt only. Boiling very difficult. Yeah, it will just melt. The important thing about melting is not because it's liquid, but because you now have Na plus and Cl minus. So instead of having a solid NaCl, which is they're not separate, a liquid NaCl will have Na plus and Cl minus floating around, which means it can conduct electricity, but there's an even more important point. So far, so good? Now, I prefer that none of the things I mentioned you memorize, but you understand. Na plus will automatically be attracted to one of these. Which one do you think he will be attracted to? The left one or the right one?
The left side.
And you will be correct. some people understand this as attracted to the negative terminal. I guess that makes sense. Cl minus, likewise, we do something different. Go to the other side because it's attracted to the positive side. Some people memorize it that way. That will be correct. So far, so good?
Mm-hmm.
Now, we'll call this number 1. We'll call this number 2. Immediately, Ria, you can write down the reaction. Because on electrolysis, your electrolysis analysis is complete when you can write down the reaction. That proves that you understand. Ria, you can definitely write down the reaction in 1 already. Do you have any idea?
Na plus plus platinum.
No. Platinum does not participate, remember? Platinum
Oh,
is just conducting. So platinum is there. Just letting some other guy through. What would that be?
Electron.
Because that's how current flow, right? It's not the current, but the electron. So Na plus attracted to that platinum on the left will meet who? Will meet? Will meet? Not platinum, but
The electron.
if that makes sense, that certainly will happen according to our knowledge. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if you may guess, therefore, what will happen?
Balance.
No, no. I'm really asking you what happened to the Na plus when meeting electron. There's no balancing to do right now because the right-hand side is not clear yet. You gotta have the right-hand side before you can balance. When the Na plus, which is attracted to the left platinum, met with the electron, which is being forced. The electron is being forced by the battery. Yeah? This is a forceful reaction. They will become Na.
Na.
To emphasize the huge difference, this is ionic, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And this is metallic. You basically change the ion into metal by forcing an electron to combine with the Na plus. So far, so good?
Yeah.
This is not a reaction that you have seen before, even though it's so simple. In the sense that this is a very difficult reaction to do. There's only one way to do it, as far as we can tell, only by electrolysis. Okay. Furthermore, the reaction is very dangerous because sodium is reactive, and currently this is liquid sodium with a 800-degree fire. A very dangerous thing, but a very simple thing nonetheless. Very, very simple. The reaction looks almost too, how do I say that? Too innocent lah. I mean, what else can I say? It looks very simple, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now, there is another very simple looking dangerous reaction that is happening in number 2. Okay, Cl minus, right? Now, Cl minus experience a different kind of forcing. He is going to be taken. The electron is going to be taken away from him by force. Does that make any sense? I don't want you to
Mm-hmm.
memorize. Make a guess what will happen.
CO2 minus.
No, you're not making any sense. The electron is being stolen from you or taken from him. How can he become even more minus?
Like nothing.
I'm sorry. Does this make some sense? If it doesn't, please tell me. Because we have time, I want this to make as many sense as possible.
No.
Then let me explain. The Cl minus has original 7 electron, right? And then 1 extra electron from do nowhere. Now that is your Cl minus lah, correct? This is your Cl minus. Correct. When one of the electron is stolen, frankly speaking, it doesn't matter which one is stolen away, but let's just pretend that this guy is being stolen away. So this guy is being forcefully taken out. Okay, electron flies away. Okay, you are obviously now left with this one. Now, if you remember from your sec 3, this is a very unhappy thing, right? This is very unhappy. He doesn't want to be in this situation. Am I correct? He was very happy as Cl minus. Now the electron is stolen and he is now unhappy. If this is the only guy, he will stay unhappy, but thankfully, there is another guy which just experienced the same fate nearby. If that makes sense? There's also another unhappy Cl nearby. Just around there, at the platinum border. Okay? According to sec 3, what will happen to them? They will do that, no? They will do that, no? What is that?
Covalent.
They will form a covalent, which is to say, they will both form what we know as a Cl2 gas. So then I just balance 2 and 2 here. Does this make more sense? Is this okay, Rita?
Yeah.
Listen to me for the details. These are the essence. The essence is there. This is the number 1 electrolysis to learn. Now, let me give you a few technicalities. Chemistry do not like minus at all, even though that is exactly what happened. The minus represents the stolen electron. Again, chemistry do not like minus at all. He will kind of do that instead. He will instead minus on the left, he will plus on the right. Does this, can you accept it? At the start, I will recommend you to write minus because thinking purposes, and then immediately just shift it to the right for presentation purpose. Thinking first, presentation later. Again, am I making any sense?
Yeah.
Now, final presentation, they want something like this. They want you to combine these 2 reactions to total the 2 reactions. Okay, they will call this the first half. They will call this the second half. Hey, give me the total reaction. Well, before you total the reaction, you got to times 2 here. 2, 2, 2. Do you know why? Because 2 electron and 2 electron. The 2 electron here must, so to speak, balance by the 2 electron going out. 2 electron go in, 2 electron go out. It cannot be 1 electron go in, 2 electron go out. Doesn't make sense at all physically, so to speak. This is making sense of it physically. What comes in must be what comes out. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Right? Yes? Yes, sorry. Oh, sorry, it makes sense. All right, okay. So even though the 2, 2, 2 here is unnecessary for the half, but when you total it, it is necessary. So how do you end up totaling everything? Quite simple. You'll have 2 Na plus 2 Cl minus. The 2 electron, you will see later, will cancel each other. Okay, so there will be no 2 electron. It's kind of hidden. Now you have 2 Na liquid plus Cl2 gas. This is in liquid form and this is in. So basically, we are saying if you stick a battery to a liquid NaCl, the NaCl will be consumed. You get sodium liquid instead and chlorine gas instead. The battery will consume the melted sodium chloride to give you sodium metal and chlorine gas bubbling out. Very dangerous, but also quite simple. Do you understand so far?
Wait, what is this equation called?
Which one? That one is the what you call the full ionic lah. So half, right? Half left, half right.
Mhm.
The half left, half right is the most important part, but they will always want a full combined reaction. To summarize what's going on, like for example, my summary is based on the full total reaction is the electrolyte will be consumed, giving you sodium metal and chlorine gas. That is kind of more obvious when you total it instead of when you half it. Am I making any sense? Clarify anything and everything you want, because when you're ready, you gotta clear and redraw everything until the end.
Okay.
When you're ready, just clear lah.
The drawing also.
Everything, just clear frame. What? No, there's the button clear frame. No need to erase, no need to erase. There's a button called clear frame. Or erase everything. Like you press the eraser, there's a like erase everything or erase all or something like that. Okay, there you go. Simple, right? Okay, now from the start until the end. Yeah. Aside from minor stuff, totally great. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay. You have considered the first scenario. I'm going to now show you the second scenario. Okay. So you will notice that I will copy your picture on the right-hand side for comparison purpose. Ria, have I told you that this Jamboard is yours? You do whatever you want with it, right? You can copy, you can erase anything, right? You don't have to ask permission for me to do
Yeah.
anything. Okay, good. Now there's a change from the first guy. The first guy uses fire, which is 800 degrees. And then the second one has no fire at all. The NaCl is just aqueous. Aqueous means you can conduct electricity without, without having to melt. Very difficult. Okay. However, there is now an additional complication because of NaCl. Aqueous. This is the complication. H plus, OH minus. Do you know where the H plus and the OH minus come from? Ria, are you looking at the drawing here? Right. Are you looking at the drawing?
Yeah.
Okay. Where does it come from?
Not sure.
The water. NaCl equals, right? Previously, the water. The NaCl is dissolved in water, aqueous one. Aqueous. The previous NaCl has no water at all. How can it be? It's 800 degrees. This one has water. To make life simple, no need to use fire, but you now have H plus and OH minus flying around, accompanying the Na plus and Cl minus. Am I making any sense?
Yeah.
All
Wait, where
right.
did
Now,
OH minus
yes.
come from?
I'm sorry, you're saying?
The OH minus.
The OH minus why?
Where did it come from?
So just to clarify with you, yeah. Do you understand something? I'm going back to acid and base to explain. I'm so sorry. H2O, just normal water, okay? I'm really talking about just normal water here. I'm so sorry. I have a Jamboard error. I gotta go out and go in again. Sorry about that. Sorry. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so do you know that normal water, like really just H2O, they call it pH 7 lah, correct or not? pH 7. Are you okay, Rian?
Yeah.
So normal water has the ability to do this, to split himself. The pH 7 water has the ability to split himself into H plus and OH minus. However, in a very small amount. This 7 represents a very simple thing, 7 zeros, right? Here, 10 million, right? Okay, so 1 in 10 million, only 1 in 10 million. 1 in 10 million, 7 zeros. Water molecule will do this split automatically. But it does happen.
Yeah.
It does happen. Do you know all this? Clear?
Yeah.
If you know this, now that you know the source of H plus and OH minus is not acid and base. It's just the water that we are in. That's all.
Yeah.
You will hardly feel this, by the way, but the electrolysis setup feels it immediately. Let me tell you the consequences. So there are consequences in the electrolysis side of things. But for us, this is almost no consequence, right? At least not in O level. Okay, so what happened now? Surprisingly, now I must ask you to quote for me the reactivity series. Do you remember your reactivity series? If you don't, tell me right now. You don't get to take a peek. Do you remember or not?
No. I just know
All
like
right. Then I'll just teach you the fastest and easiest way I know to memorize and to use it in exam. Okay. By the way, just want to clarify, Ria, whatever I teach you, yeah, this is a new topic, right? For example, whatever I teach you, the techniques, think about the electron flow, for example, think about the water, for example. I don't teach you because you're new. I teach you because that's directly usable in exam. That is what you should think about in exam. It doesn't matter whether you just started this topic or we have discussed it 10 times already. I will still ask you to think about the electron flow. I will still ask you to think about the water, if there is water, and I will still ask you to think about the reactivity series. I will still ask you to think about the reduction oxidation, the balances, the state symbol, because this is expected in exam. Not because you are new, I cover all this. Clear, yeah? Yeah. So when I say, I want to teach you reactivity series, how to memorize, it's not because you forget I teach you. It's because I want to teach you the best way to use it in exam. Directly exam applicable. Now, follow me. Carbon and hydrogen. Any complaints? Reactivity
no.
series? Dot, dot, dot. Three dot here, three dot here, three dot here. All three dot. Very easy to remember. The first three dot, group 1, group 2, group 3. I know you're supposed to specify that, but the point is group 1, group 2, group 3. That's the point. The last 3 point, also very easy, is the Olympic medal. Gold, silver, copper. I know it's bronze, but bronze is made of copper and zinc. Okay? Are you okay so far? 3 point, 3 point, 3 point.
Yeah.
The middle one is the most useful metal. What would that be? For us, at least. You use for your chair, you probably use your table, you probably, it's definitely used for buses, for cars, all strong stuff like door handles, I don't know, gates, whatever. What is that? Very nice and very strong metal. What is it? No, aluminum is group 3, which is here. The metal that we're thinking about is cheaper, better, stronger than aluminum, except that it rusts. There's one weakness to it. So what is it? Iron, Fe, okay? So the middle guy is the most useful one. It's more useful than aluminum, definitely. Definitely. It's just that aluminum too expensive and it's actually weaker. The advantage, it doesn't rust. Plus and minus. Now, above Fe, a bit memorization, zinc. And below Fe, a bit memorization, lead. You are the pure chemistry student. I expect you to immediately memorize the chemical symbol, not the English name. I don't want you to write silver as S. Nonsense, useless. Okay, not applicable in exam at all. Can you memorize this style of reactivity series? Like right now, I'm going to ask you to repeat. When you're ready, I'll erase for you.
Okay.
I'm on the, yeah, 2 minutes now. All right, so I'm gonna erase it now. Repeat the reactivity series the way I do it first. Carbon, hydrogen, 3 point, 3 point, 3 point. Deal with the 3 points separately. Go ahead. Good. Yeah, no need to write group 1, just 1, 2, 3 stuff, right? Okay. Okay, then good, gold, silver. Silver is, yeah, okay, nice. Good. Good. Now, very good. Totally usable in exam, very fast, very convenient. Now, we have 1 minute left. I want to use this in electrolysis. Now, I will tell you a bit of secret from JC. Okay. In JC, they teach you that the reactivity series has a mirror. The mirror explains so many things. Until now, I do not know why they don't just say this in O level. It just makes everything much easier, not harder, right? So the mirror image extends downward. You will have Au2 plus, the ion form of Au lah, Ag plus, Cu2 plus, and then you have the H plus. Do you see that I'm just mirroring the guy on top and the guy on the bottom, right? To the guy on bottom. The difference is the guy on top are metals, and the guy on the bottom are ions, metal ions.
Mm-hmm.
Am I making any sense so far?
Yeah.
Now, I've already put my H plus here because special note, H plus is currently our concern. There you go. And then I will note there's no space. I just dot, 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 dot. I will note that sodium is here, and therefore sodium plus is way down there. Also, our special mention for this. Clear? So far, so good?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now, why is this important? Because now, to end today, H plus and Na plus is actually competing for the electron. Does that make some sense? They are in competition. Somebody will win and grab the electron. That is what is happening right now. We gotta know how to decide the winner. The winner is simply decided by looking at the reactivity series. I'm going to explain this in layman term. H plus, if he wins, jumps to H. Na plus, if he wins, jumps to Na. Am I making any sense so far?
Yeah.
Who jumps higher? Clearly, who is jumping higher?
Na.
Therefore, H plus win, Na lose. Smaller jump, easier jump will win the electron hands down. Clearly, clearly, clearly.
Yeah.
That means in platinum 1, no longer Na plus, but H plus plus electron. Why? Because H plus wins. This becomes H2, I balance it 2 and 2. This is aqueous, and this is yes. Are we clear? This is the consequence of using NaCl aqueous, the first consequence.
Mm.
You no longer produce the Na metal.
Okay.
We will continue this. I'm very happy that we can finally get ahead in class. I guarantee you after one session, we will jump straight to exam papers and do exam level question. That should boost your confidence and your understanding. Any other question, Ria, for today?
Not really, but do you have any other date for next week's class?
You mean you want to shift your next Thursday also?
Yeah.
Wait, I haven't moved it, right? Okay, so the current slot, which is Tuesday, right? So where am I? Okay, there you go, today, right? So the current slot, which is right now, is still open next week. Will that work?
Yeah.
Then I will see you next Tuesday, 6 to 7:30.
Okay.
Bye-bye, Ria. Good job for today.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, hi Kirby. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay, I can hear you also.
I messed up the math paper. I like
You mess
I
up the
went
math paper. All right, tell me.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I went in 10 minutes late and then I
Uh,
started I did two questions and I was like feeling tired, so I was gonna have a like I closed my eyes for a short while, like 1 minute. Then I fell asleep and then the next thing I heard was you guys have 2 minutes until I collect the paper and I thought that was for the other people, not the extra time people. So I like kept my eyes closed. And then then the teacher took my paper and I so I only did like two questions to the first page. Oh no. I'm gonna fail. Ah,
I mean, never mind the fail. It doesn't matter for O level, right?
yeah.
I mean, it feels great if you don't fail, I know, but never mind that. So what what exactly happened? As in, is it in the okay? You say you're late, right? So that means it's in the morning, isn't it?
Yes, it's always in the morning.
So what happened? Did you cannot sleep or something?
And I was like, so basically I woke up and then I
Mhm.
tried to get a calculator from my brother. And my brother was like,
Mhm.
I don't know what he was on, but he was like super upset. And then he like started punching me for no reason. Then like that mentally drained me. So I slept in the exam. Yeah.
Sorry, what? You try to borrow your brother's calculator, right?
I tried to get my
Something like that.
calculator from him. Yeah.
Your your calculator from him or his calculator? Sorry, what?
I don't know, it's one of ours. I don't know, he's quite insistent that it's his, but I think it's mine.
Ah, so you're saying that the calculator that you're missing yesterday, right?
No, that's
Probably
not from
is
him. That's I left it in school. I don't know where it went. It's missing now.
so just MIA lah. Okay, missing action. All right.
Yeah,
Okay, I
it might
understand.
be.
So okay, and he when you say he punched you like he punched you or he really punched what? Sorry, what?
He tried to fight with me. He wanted to fight.
Right. Okay, that is a bit of a shock, I would imagine, lah. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean I can see why you will feel unable to focus lah. I mean sleeping, right? Okay, I
Yeah,
see
my
why.
nose started bleeding and then like got blood everywhere. Oh no. So tragic.
Tragic is probably the word. Yeah. Now you're saying that you are late and your nose is bleeding.
Yeah, I was late because my nose started bleeding. Like I had to
Ah.
because there was so much blood, I had to like stay in the toilet for 10 minutes. Because every time I tried to put tissue
Right.
in my nose, it just got soggy and like yeah.
There is a lot of. Sorry, is this normal? As not normal. I don't think it's normal.
No, it's not.
Is this
Yeah.
the usual that your nose bleeds like in that sense?
Oh yeah.
It's
My nose
easier
bleeds a
to be.
lot.
Oh,
Very.
your nose is easy to bleed.
I have a very
Okay.
sensitive nose or something.
Right. Okay, then I'm not surprised because I thought there's something else. But if it's something usual, then what to do, right? Okay, I understand. I
Yeah.
understand.
I found like a
Uh,
sensitive spray thing that I tried to use.
you try to what? Sorry.
I tried to use.
Oh, you mean you have a spray? You have a spray that you try to use.
Yeah, it like makes it less sensitive or something.
Right. Okay. All right. Um, how do you feel now then?
Uh, fine. Um, very. Yeah, I don't know.
Hmm. I mean, I guess first thing first, you must be a bit disappointed with the
Yeah,
exam and everything, right?
yeah.
Are you over that or are you still disappointed?
I think I'm over it.
Which one? Yes or
I'm
no?
over it.
Disappointed or
Yes.
no? Which one?
No,
Which one?
no, I don't think so.
All right, all right. Now, if there's anything I can do for this particular disappointment, you tell me lah. Okay? You tell me. Okay? I mean, I'm sure that you could do the exam if it's a normal situation. I'm sure based on what I see yesterday lah. I saw
Yeah,
yesterday, but obviously the exam is the real test. So what you're missing is the real test, right? Like you're disappointed because you miss the opportunity to test. Something like that. Correct or not?
yeah,
Well, then I suggest you do get over it, but not too quickly because that is not a bad thing. If you think about it, it seems like you're disappointed because you actually want to test yourself. Maybe you feel more ready. Maybe you feel your preparation is good this time. Maybe you feel something that appears to be positive. And so not being able to do that is a source of disappointment.
yeah,
If that is true, then get over it, but not too fast lah, because it seems to be a good thing. It seems to be progress lah. I mean, it seems to be a progress. What do you think?
uh, yeah,
All right. Obviously, you'll never know until you could test yourself again, no? Right? I guess that's fair lah. I guess that's fair. So Kirby, just to make you a little bit happier, I think you are prepared. But let's also agree that nothing is better than actually testing an exam. Both you and I should also agree on that. Okay?
yeah,
Okay. If it helps you a little bit, then I think you're quite prepared. If it helps you. Okay. I mean, if you say that your math was failing last year, that seems to be what you're saying, right? Math also failed, something like that.
yeah,
It doesn't seem to be the case yesterday, lah. It really does not seem to be like I am surprised a few times, positively surprised of your intention to think through the question. I'm quite positively surprised a few times. Okay, doesn't seem like a failed student to me lah. Doesn't seem to be. Okay, so just a little bit of comfort for you lah. Yeah.
okay.
Right. Let's wait for the next exam, no? Or if there's anything that you want me to do, just tell me.
Chemistry is next week.
I guess we should go back to chemistry. So we are out of POA, physics, and math. Correct or not? We are out already. We're left with chemistry lah. Correct?
Yeah,
So I guess should we study chemistry today?
yeah.
Or is there something else you want to study? Is there something else? Is there something else?
No.
Then you know the topics, right? You know the topics. Let's practice. I mean, just to confirm, the exam will not be until OChem 1, right? Cannot be that, right? No, right?
It's just the redox, the periodic table, and like
And
uh and I don't know, I need to check.
sure. It seems a bit boring as a topic, lah. I mean, it's not very difficult.
Uh,
Hmm. Hey, like for example, is your POA already advancing or not?
what?
Is your POA already advancing?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
When's your chem test next week? When's your chem test next week?
I think it's next week, Tuesday.
Okay, I have an offer because today is Tuesday also, right? Like we're still 1 week ahead, right? Okay,
Yeah.
it's not that it's not that usually it's good to prepare exam beforehand, like 1 week before. That's very good, but the camp topics are not the hardest topics, I guess, and I would rather that you just do more practice for homework and then just clarify with me tomorrow or Thursday. I don't know. That is also not a bad thing.
Okay.
Maybe we can use tuition time for, for the other subjects, like, even though they are already finished, I mean, they're still continue. What do you think?
Sure.
Okay, then Kirby, realistically, yeah, we still have 1 week, right? Let me just clarify this. Does it make sense if I ask you to do, your chemistry as homework lah? Then you do, and then you just ask difficult question in tuition.
Yeah.
Now, when will that be? Will that be tomorrow, Wednesday? Will that be Thursday? Will that be next Sunday? Which one will it be? You decide. You're the tuition student.
What? Huh?
Again, when are you going to do your, chemistry exam preparation homework, right? Just practice more, right, on that topic, so that you can ask me or clarify me difficult questions on tuition. Do you want to clarify tomorrow? Seems like a bit far off, right, from the exam. Correct or not?
Yeah.
Do you want to clarify Thursday? Also seems a bit far off, correct or not? Still
Yeah.
seems a bit too far. Maybe you want to clarify on Sunday or Monday. You decide. I mean, that's the only option, like Sunday or Monday lah.
Yeah.
Which one?
I think
Which one?
I
Sunday or
don't know.
Monday?
Sunday maybe or Monday.
Let's be safe. Let's be safe first. Oh, wait, Sunday there's no tuition. So I'm not talking about Sunday. There's no tuition.
Oh.
Okay, tell you what. If you are going to, if you want tuition, Sunday is available, right? But if not, normally it's Monday to Thursday, correct or not? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? Okay. I just don't want you to burn out in tuition. Not don't abuse tuition. Some people burn out. Too many tuition. Something like that. Okay, if you're not burning out, I'm happy lah. But just to be safe. Anyway, if you feel that you want to meet on Sunday, then go ahead and do the homework first,
Okay.
right? If you want to meet on Monday, then I trust you because again, you'll be practicing first. Monday is just to round things up. Should be okay lah.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not like you don't know that chapter, we have been practicing that chapter like 2 weeks ago. Maybe you're a bit rusty, but that's what homework is for lah. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, if that's a good idea, then today, okay, what should we study? POA, math, physics.
Maybe I don't know. I don't have a
Then POA lah.
preference. Yeah, sure.
POA, no? Okay, so let's read the book, okay? This is our effort to get ahead of class. Correct or not? Okay, this is maybe the first time we can get ahead of class. Previously, we never got ahead of class.
Yeah.
Okay, it will be easier if you on the video lah, right? But if you cannot, we'll open the same page lah, right?
Okay.
So let me confirm that your teacher is already at chapter 13, is it? 13? Is it?
I think I don't know. She's at the the next one. Wait, I have a worksheet.
So just check the topic, please. We're trying to get ahead of class. We should do it properly.
She's doing trade payables, I think.
Wait, wait.
Yeah. Wait, non-current asset. I don't know. I think she's still doing the same thing.
Why are we doing the same thing? I thought exam over already.
I don't know, but she's still on the trade payables and non-current assets.
Why are we doing? I'm very confused.
I don't know.
Can we don't care and skip ahead?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you're masters in those lah. I'm not saying that lah, but I just want us to get ahead a little bit, and then the class will even make more sense and more sense and more sense. That's just the general effect we're aiming for lah. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And so is it gonna be chapter 13? I mean borrowing lah, right? Borrowing and interest lah.
Oh. Oh, I need to find the book. I think I put it like somewhere down there.
Yeah, please, 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 please.
Hello? Found the book.
Are you back, Kirby?
Yeah.
Okay. Come, let's start. Okay. Okay. Open up to chapter 13, page 157.
That's it.
Yeah,
One,
page 157, please.
do I need to turn on my camera?
Right now, no. Come, let's go
Oh,
quick.
okay.
Okay, so I'm going to summarize for you. The reason is very simple. Look at how short chapter 13 is. It's from 157 to 162. Check it out.
157 to 162.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, clear. Yeah, it's a short one, but definitely something that will come out in exam because borrowing is very important.
Yeah.
Okay, there are certain purpose to it, and then there are interests involved lah. Now he is going to immediately, let's go to 157. I'm going to summarize for you. Yeah. Okay. Are you there?
Yeah.
So long-term borrowing, which is important, and overdraft, which is also important. Okay. I'm going to explain immediately overdraft. Very simple. You have 5,000 in deposit, for example lah. And then for some reason, you withdraw 5,100, for example, more than what you deposit. And the strange thing is that could be done. The bank allows you to do that. That's the strange part. I
Yeah.
mean, normally, if you deposit 5,000 and you withdraw 5,000, then that's the maximum lah. If you try to withdraw more than 5,000, the ATM should stop you. You will not get more money. Make sense?
Yeah.
But strangely speaking, if you're a business, you can have this agreement with the bank lah. It's a facility lah, a feature lah. The feature is you can overdraw. Overdraft means, I guess, overdraw, but that is simply borrowing from the bank. It is literally borrowing from your friend. Hey, yo, I'm short by $10. Can you lend me $10? I'll pay you back tomorrow. That kind of thing, that's basically bank overdraft lah.
Oh, so that's just
Do
borrowing.
you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is borrowing from a friend, very short period. Obviously, you don't return your friend 1 year later lah. No lah, you return your friend maybe 2 days from then lah. A few days thingy. Okay, a few days thingy. Like you just urgently need some cash, but it's not like you cannot pay back very quickly. You can pay back very quickly. You just left your cash at home. In terms of a business, you're just waiting for somebody to pay you, something like, there's a trade receivable, waiting to come in and you're short a bit of cash, you can overdraft from the bank, something like that. Okay, make sense? Okay, sorry, mic not good. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, again, yeah, it's your mic. We gotta do something with your mic lah. Are you using your new laptop?
Yeah.
Your new laptop has a worse mic than your desktop. Really, yeah.
I don't have a mic on my
That's
desktop. I just use my phone.
your phone. I think your phone will solve the problem lah. These few days you haven't been owning your video. Anyway, so maybe next time, remember, let's go back to normal on your video. Your mic in phone will always be better than the mic laptop. Laptop mics are never a good one lah. Clear?
Okay.
Just never lah. So now, so you will read your bank overdraft later. You will find that those things should agree with what I said. Okay, you still have to read it. Okay, now I'm going to explain long-term borrowing. Okay, now long-term borrowing also very simple lah. You borrow a big sum of money in order to do something important. Now, what could that be? You're a business owner, could be. Why would you want to borrow 50,000 from the bank?
So I can invest in other things.
Which is to say, you need some money to expand your business. Let me put it this way. If your business is slow, should you borrow, long-term borrow from the bank?
Yeah.
Should you?
Maybe.
Nonsense.
It
Nonsense.
depends, right?
Unless you have a very good
Like,
plan. Unless you have a very good plan. Okay,
Yeah.
if the economy is slow, you probably have to reconsider borrowing from the bank because first thing first, are you sure if you invest it, more client will come? That you must make sure. If not, you have triple problem. First of all, you have the problem of uh, business is slow. That's already a first problem, right? You're trying to solve that problem by borrowing from the bank to invest. Then you have a second problem, no? The second problem is you have to pay back the bank because you invested already, the money is used
Yeah.
for something. But business not picking up. You have a second problem, paying back the money because you owe the bank. You have a third problem, which is interest. You have interest problem also. Suddenly your single problem becomes triple problem if you're not using it wisely. Make sense?
Yes.
But let's say business is picking up. Let's say lah, let's say, what kind of business are we talking about here? You're the
Uh,
business owner, come tell me.
like a restaurant. Yeah.
Okay, restaurant. Okay, tell me what food?
Uh, like uh, sushi. Yeah.
Okay, sushi. Okay, because I guess you like sushi.
Yes.
Okay, do you notice that there's a new Japanese restaurant just opened in Hilby too, called Kaijo?
QB2. Oh, really?
I think the sushi is available because on Chinese New Year when they open at Chinese New Year actually. Then their sushi stock, all the fish stock are unavailable, because delivery stock. But I think after 2 or 3 weeks, I think their sushi should be back lah. So at least there's now a sushi option in Hilvi too lah, something like that. Right? So let's say you're the one that opened that restaurant. It's called Kaijo. Okay? You
I
opened
do.
that 3 weeks ago and you notice that business is picking up very well. People actually want to eat Japanese food. There hasn't been any proper Japanese food in Hilvi 2 and in Rail Mall. The Japanese food at Rail Mall is like terrible. It's really terrible. Okay, so let's say people are dying to eat you. There's a lot of queue. So you borrow money from the bank, 50,000. Kirby, what are you going to invest that 50,000 for? Considering that you just opened a restaurant and people are queuing in front.
Maybe like decorations, so I get more customers.
Okay, think carefully. The customers are already queuing up
Yeah.
over there. Will decoration help them come in?
I mean, wait, no.
People are already
Maybe
queuing up to want to eat.
maybe
Okay, so what do you guess?
more employees.
More employees, maybe one more, maybe lah. Not too many. Okay,
Like
employees can
more,
be the salary you have to think about, right? Okay, one
yeah,
more. Is it the server? Is it the
yeah.
cashier? Is it the guy inside the kitchen? Which one?
I think
Which
another server, yeah. I mean, it
another
depends.
server?
It depends on what the restaurant needs.
Correct. If people coming in wanting more sushi because there is no good sushi around, I
Yeah,
think you better invest in the chef lah,
yeah,
or make another sushi menu which is easier to make, so faster to make lah. That kind of investment might work well lah. If people are not asking for sushi, which is a very special, it has to be prepared specially, right? Sushi, I mean, like it or not lah. If
yeah,
they want other types of food, then maybe you employ server. I don't know. Maybe if they just want katsudon, maybe you employ a junior chef, not a senior chef. Something like that lah. Maybe it depends
yeah.
on the food. You're absolutely right. Okay. Now, if people are already wanting it, then you borrow money, you invest, you won't have much problem lah. You will have more money coming in, so no problem paying the bank and no problem paying the interest also. Still, you should have more money in the end. That's the whole idea of long-term borrowing. Okay?
Yes.
Because Kaijo, I'll tell you, Kaijo replaces another restaurant. Do you know that? The owner, I believe, is still the same. The owner basically decide to revamp the restaurant. Do you know which restaurant I was talking about? Do you
No,
go to Hillview?
not
Oh, you don't
really.
go to Hillview.
Yeah.
Right. There's a restaurant called The New Thing lah. I don't know whether you remember
The new
The New
thing.
Thing.
Oh, yeah.
The New Thing is no longer. The New Thing is revamped into Kaijo. 2 months already.
Oh,
2 months
really?
revamp. Even the toast box, the fun toast. Remember there's a fun toast on level 2? Another
Yeah.
one. Fun
Yeah.
toast also revamped into something new. So 2 restaurant revamp. My point is, if you're new thing, you may want to invest on revamping the restaurant instead of adding more decoration. Maybe adding decoration will not help. Maybe the problem is elsewhere.
Yeah,
Business
but
is low,
the
so to
new
speak.
thing was so good. The burger was so good.
I
Oh,
agree with you. I also like new thing food. I like, but the problem is not enough people like. That's the problem. I don't know why. I really don't know why. The food was good, I think. But my wife say it's not good, eh? My brother say it's also not good, eh?
oh,
My son cannot eat, eh? So I end up don't eat there too much also, even though I like the food.
yeah.
I mean, first thing first, you don't have to queue, so empty, First thing first, you know. Yeah. But as a business owner, if you're the customer, you're set to see new thing go. But as the business owner, you gotta think, am I gonna borrow from the bank? Business is slow, right? Borrow the bank to increase my decoration or to totally revamp or to do something else. That's what you need to think about. Because if not, you have more problem than when you start. Make sense?
Yeah.
That is what I'm trying to say regarding long-term borrowing and bank overdraft. Bank overdraft shouldn't give you that problem because it's very limited. Long-term borrowing is a much bigger cash. Do you notice that I'm talking to you from the point of view of a business owner, not from an accountant point of view? Okay?
Yeah.
Because the first page, even though it looks like accounting, that's more like a business owner thing. Okay? So now, at around 8:30, there's the other student will come in. I also have to discuss with him. So I'm going to ask you to do this, okay? Kirby, you're going to read chapter 13 when he comes in, and you're going to do some practices from chapter 13. Because I just summarized chapter 13 for you. The considerations are done. That's long-term borrowing and overdraft. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay? You got to look at the accountancy side, but wait until 8:30. Can?
Great.
Can, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I guarantee you this will directly be usable in Excel because it's a very normal thing for a business to do, both overdraft and normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I'm gonna skip to chapter 14, equities. Equities is more discussion. Equities is
Equity.
right. Okay, equities chapter 14, please.
Okay.
Do you remember that the first time we talk about POA, I immediately talk about equities.
Yeah.
I talk about asset, liability, and equities, right? There, and then you feel that it's very up in the air. Now that I know how accountancy is taught, I'm a little bit confused. How come equities is taught very late? I'm very confused. Very,
Yeah.
very, very, very confused. Right? I
Probably.
thought that's the most important thing. I thought the purpose of a business is to increase equity. I mean, a very standard way, lah. That's the point. Turns out that
Yeah.
from accountancy point of view, that is not the most important thing to talk about, lah. I think I know why. Because most transactions that happen are not equities. Most transactions are not. Equity transaction happens very rarely. Maybe that's the reason why in accountancy you don't talk about it too much. Okay, but definitely you will talk about it. Okay. Now, I want you to read the first page of equity, which is the guy showering the money plant.
What
Okay.
money? Oh, yeah.
Page 163. Okay, look at it. Okay. So in chapter 13, the previous chapter, we learned about the funding a business growth to borrowing, right? Borrowing from the bank. In
Yeah.
this chapter 14, we will look at different sources of loan funding through contribution from the owner or issuing share capital. Okay, and then the one I want you to focus is the next page, the next paragraph. The advantage this way is that it doesn't owe any money to the bank. Okay, A business must pay interest on loan. Again, you must repay the loan and you must pay interest. But he is claiming that if if you raise capital, right, from owner or from other people, you don't seem to have to pay back. You don't seem to. And you don't seem to have to pay interest. Instead, you pay dividend. Okay, he is claiming that this is the advantage of raising capital instead of borrowing loan. That is his claim. So far, so good, Kirby?
Yes.
I will tell you right now, I immediately disagree with this. This is maybe an accountant perspective. From a business owner perspective, this is a very mixed chapter. Okay, now let me explain what I mean because that will go in. I believe something slightly different. You cannot quote me in exam, okay? I just tell you what it actually means.
Okay.
Capital is wrong to say that capital no need to return. It's wrong one. It's really totally wrong. That's technically correct only. If you invest your money to the business, you tell me you don't expect the business to repay you that money one day, meh? Really? That doesn't make sense, what? You want your business to succeed because, first of all, then your money will come back. Correct or not?
Yes.
Secondly, then more money than the original money you can also take. That is when the business finally make profit. However, you usually have to wait quite long. You have to wait quite long for that. 3 years, 5 years. And sometimes the business do fail. Yes, sometimes. What this sentence actually means technically something like this. You don't get to pay back yourself. Remember, it was your money, You basically not give your money, you basically lend your money to the business because you hope one day it will be paid back. Correct or not? You don't start a business hoping that you will lose all your money, if that makes some sense. Correct?
Yeah.
What it technically means, though, is that you're the last in the line of paying back. So, for example, the business actually failed and it goes bankrupt. It's a very common occurrence. Okay, I technically I did start a business and it technically did fail. What must I do when it failed? First of all, I must pay back the bank first if I borrow any bank. If I didn't borrow, then that's not a problem. I must first thing first pay back the bank with whatever remaining money I have when I go bankrupt. When I go bankrupt, I still have some money. For example, I will still have some money by selling the equipment for second hand.
Yeah.
That money needs to pay back the bank first, number one. Number two, it needs to pay back my supplier. If I have something I owe to my supplier, trade payable. Number one, bank loan. Number two, trade payable. Understand?
Yes.
Then number three, yourself. What does it mean to pay back yourself? The capital. The capital. So when you go bankrupt or fail, which is a bit sad for the business, but it happens You got to be prepared for that. Whatever money you have first, bank first, then your supplier, then if there's anything left, yourself. If it is enough to pay for the bank, but not enough to pay for your supplier, then whatever you can, you pay your supplier. That's why there's a writing off. That's why we continue to discuss bankruptcy issue from our customer. If our customer go bankrupt, well, they pay us whatever they can, and then that's it, the rest must be written off. That is exactly what it means.
Oh.
When other people go bankrupt, we are second in line. The first line is who? Bank. Who is third in line? Themselves. If they're the ones starting the money, they don't have money to pay you back, then you can be certain, technically, they have nothing for themselves. They lost all their money. Okay?
Oh.
Now, Kirby, I'm telling all this first, second, third to explain to you that capital is actually still what the business owe you. It's just that you are the last in line. Still, you hope your business will pay you back. If you lost other people money, just to be clear, lost other people money, capital, right? You will realize that you are number 4 in line. First in line, pay the bank. Second in line, pay your supplier. Third in line, pay other people's capital. Then fourth in line, pay you your own capital. That is what it means actually. You are fourth in line. The third one is the share capital by other people. Technically, that should be the case.
Oh,
Now, I'll give you a slightly less sad scenario, which is when you actually sell your business. Selling your business is not bankrupt. Selling your business is a good thing in the sense that somebody want to buy your business lah. Did that make sense?
yeah.
Okay, for whatever reason you sell, it's not franchising, you literally sell everything. Okay, some people start business with that in mind. 30 years from now, I just want to sell my business lah, and retire comfortably, no problem. Now, what will happen at that point? Okay, again, you sell your business, right? But first thing first, if you are selling your business, just take it very simply. The money you receive, first thing first, not everything you can keep. You must first settle loan with the bank. You get what I mean? Same thing, like, settle the loan with the money you receive. And then settle your supplier. And then settle other people's capital. They also deserve part of the profit because they capital. Then finally, you get to keep the rest. You are the fourth in line. Here's the good news. If you settle everybody's responsibility already, you're responsible to them, you get to keep whatever is left. And sometimes what is left is indeed very big. Number 1, number 2, number 3 in line don't have claim for whatever excess there is. That's all yours. That is the benefit of being the final owner lah. If your profit is big, you get to keep most of them lah. But you're fourth in line, still fourth, still number 4. By law, you're number 4. Clear?
Yeah.
So now business owner story end already. When we talk about equity, usually we talk about capital. Capital is not equity, it's very annoying. Accountancy, right? But my point is, capital is something the business owe you. Don't think about it as free money. If
So
you're a
it's
business owner,
a bit
yes,
like
you're saying?
a bit like
You're
it's a
saying?
bit like drawings. It's a
It's
bit
a bit,
like
sorry, your mic is very
right?
bad. Your mic is very bad.
Hello?
Your mic is very bad.
Hello? Is it
Yeah,
okay?
it's still bad. Try again. Yeah, try again.
Hello? Is capital like drawings?
Is capital like drawings? So what do you mean by drawings? Sorry.
Like the other thing, there's drawing. Huh?
Drawing of capital. Okay. Yeah, let me tell you this. Okay. First of all, you put in your own money, right? Then you call it
Yes.
capital, right? Okay. Then there's some transaction we say you withdraw some money for your personal use, something like that. Correct?
Yeah.
So you take money, right? That's a withdrawing capital. Now, you don't think about it as stealing money from the business. That's not what actually it means. You're just saying that, hey, business, return some of the money I invest on you.
Yeah.
Usually, technically speaking, usually you withdraw much less than what you put in the business. Much less. If
Oh.
you dare withdraw more than what you put in, something wrong with your business already. Something really wrong. That's usually not what happened in a healthy business. You still, in general, keep most of your money there for running purposes, right? Just to run the business. If you withdraw a lot until more than what you actually originally invest, you are most of the time doing the business harm. It's a very bad practice to do that. Very, very, very bad. If you're sole proprietor, who cares lah? Who cares? But then again, if your business go bankrupt, also who cares? You're the one that suffers. But in general, I'm telling you this just to say, when you take business money for your personal use, it sounds very bad. No, that is just the business returning some of the money it owes you in
Yeah.
that sense. But be a responsible business owner and, take care of your business lah. Yeah, don't just willy-nilly do that something. Okay, so capital is not withdrawal. Capital is you invest the capital, and then withdrawal of capital is just the business returning to you. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so I believe that is a better way to think about capital, because if not, you will be very confused. How come capital is on the credit side? If you think about capital as something like or money in, you'll be very confused. How come when capital increase, is credit increase, not debit increase? The reason is very simple. Okay, just a minute.
Yeah. Huh?
This is very simple. Because capital is again by nature something the business owns. That's the true nature of capital. If your loan increase, not on the debit side, right? Your loan increase on the credit side lah. Correct or not?
Yeah.
For example, your trade payable increase. Trade payable is who owe who? Just to check.
I owe them.
Yeah.
Right?
So if you or the business lah, not you lah, the business owe, right? Trade payable, you have to pay, right? So the
Yeah.
business owe somebody, increase in trade payable, an increase of something you owe will be on the credit side. Correct or not?
Yeah.
So loan increase, long-term borrow or overdraft increase, credit. Payable increase, credit. Capital increase, credit. Because capital is something the business owe to the owner. Same thing is a loan from the business owner.
Yeah.
That's why capital increase is credit, not debit. If you don't have that understanding, it's extremely confusing. How come capital increase is credit, not debit? That's all I want to say for now. Please clarify anything first.
Um, I I don't have anything to clarify.
All right. So now I disagree on a conceptual level from the page, the book lah, right? But the rest I will agree. Just saying, I'm discussing this with you before we go to the accountancy side. Okay? Just saying, yes. Okay, so now let's look at there you go. Okay, look at 413.165. Look at 413.165. The withdrawal of goods for personal use. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Page 165, 14.3. 14.3, right?
Okay. Yeah.
The first example is regarding owners withdrawing. It's not even owner investing. It's now owner withdrawing. Okay. Owner withdrawing sounds like a bad thing. Owner withdrawing sounds like the owner owes the business, I take something from the business. That means the owner owns the business. Make sense? Something like that. That's what people usually think. I disagree totally with that. The owner's drawing is on the debit side. On the debit side. Why? Because originally the owner already invest something. Therefore, the business owns that owner. This is just the owner taking back some of the money the business owes. This is a reduction of capital, the reduction of what the business owes the owner, the reduction of a loan. Capital is a loan from the owner. Make sense? That's why it is debit. This is just the business paying back the owner. Instead of thinking of owner drawing as the owner owe the bank and owe the business, this is the business paying back what it owes the owner. Therefore, debit. Therefore, a reduction of loan. That kind of makes more sense if I'm trying to explain things. Are we okay so far, Kirby? I can tell you, if you don't manage this conceptual level, the credit side will be always confusing one. And it will kind of like mess up your working in exam. That is what I'm trying to prevent, right? Okay. People often ask capital. So I just build the conceptual level first. I'm not making things up, by the way. I'm not pretending that capital is, hey, let's just pretend, capital is what business owe the owner. I really mean it. That's really true, if you think about it. That's really true. Capital is a loan. Drawing is therefore not drawing, but a repayment of loan. You have to think that way if you want to be less confused in exam. Some people just memorize. You told me every time that you hate memorizing. So that's why I'm doing all this. Okay?
Yes.
So far, so good?
Yes.
Okay. Let's look at the next page, 166.
166.
Look at that. Yeah, 166, the number 2, owner contributed 20,000. Okay?
Yeah.
Don't look at this as a positive thing. Look at this as a loan. This is a loan from the owner. So credit 20,000. The name of the loan is capital. A very nice word. It is still loan. Capital 20,000, which is to say what I owe the owner. So cash and bank increase, yeah, because that's just what happened in loan one. If you take a loan, your cash will increase, but your loan also increase, if that makes sense. Loan increase in credit, cash increase in debit. Just the same thing as loan. Exactly the same thing. Okay? Would that be okay?
Yes.
Look at number 3. Withdrawal of cash. Who is the debit and who is the credit?
Uh, the debit is the drawings.
Because that's the repayment of loan, right? That's the drawing.
Yes.
And then what is credit? What is credit?
The
Withdrawal of cash for personal use. The
I
cash
like
is the credit because the cash decrease. Makes sense, lah, right? When you repay loan, you will see the exact same thing. Pay loan, debit, cash, reduce, credit. Same exact thing as a loan because capital is a loan. Okay? Ken?
Yeah.
You're supposed to look at the rest yourself. Now, any questions so far?
No.
Okay, I'm just going to see whether there's something else I need to emphasize because I don't think so. I think that's the whole problem with capital. People see capital as some sort of an income. It's totally wrong. It's more like a loan. It's just wrong. It's just really wrong. All right, so if you look at page 172,
172.
172.
The one for 14.5.
Yeah, 14.5. So O level only, which you are O level, right? This is accounting for private limited company. What does that mean? There'll be dividend. Finish. That's all. That's all. That's all it means. Okay, I'm going to explain what dividend means. Instead of how to do dividend, you're going to look at how to dividend later. Now, what does this mean? That means if it is sole proprietorship don't have dividend. Okay, let me explain why. They only have drawing because the business just owe you, right? The business just owe you, so it just pay back you. You don't pay yourself interest, what? You just draw lah. Why bother paying yourself interest? If that makes sense. If you want to draw, just draw. You don't have to calculate interest with yourself. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But accounting for private limited, 14.5 O level means in a private limited, other people contribute capital. A very nice word. It means you owe other people money lah. Your business owe other people money lah, in the form of capital, like the third in line, the loan payable third in line. Whenever you take a loan, you expect to pay interest. Correct or not?
Yes.
Loan from bank, pay interest. Trade payable got interest or not?
No.
No, but trade payable got discount. If you pay quickly, got discount. What does that mean? If you don't pay quickly, you don't have discount. That's the interest, no? If you pay later, you pay more. Interest, ma? If you pay quickly, you pay less. Not so many interest. Same thing lah. Discount is just a reverse of interest. That's all. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whenever you owe somebody or the business owe somebody, there will be interest involved. The debit credit will be exactly the same, no matter how you phrase it. So one more time, if you owe the bank, you pay interest. If you have trade payable, you either take discount or don't take discount. Same thing, interest. If you have capital by other people, you pay interest in the form of dividend. That's just the different name. Dividend is just interest because capital is just loan. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Whenever you owe somebody, you will always pay interest one. That's just how it works, if that makes sense. In that sense, your business. So dividend is only for private limited because only in private limited, other people contribute capital. That means the business owe other people also. Dividend, no? Okay. Will that be okay?
Yeah.
Dividend will be treated a bit differently than interest, but the basic understanding that it is still interest. It is still interest. Okay, so that's O level. So you expect this to happen in exam. It is quite easy if you read the debit credit. It's not something very complicated. There you go. I want you to check at 177. Page 177. Okay. 177, note. Note number 2. Dividend declared but not yet paid. Can you find it?
Yeah.
Now, read what the phrase saying. This is just the same thing as what I've been saying. Dividend declared but not yet paid. So you are supposed to pay the dividend, but you haven't. If that makes sense? It is classified as liability. Yeah, same thing like interest lah. What's so different? Interest, if you don't pay, you're supposed to pay, but you don't pay, is a liability because you owe other people that interest. Same thing with dividend, no? Dividend you declare, but you haven't paid. That's just like interest, no? Because it's just like a liability. Told you that dividend is interest, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
If that makes sense?
Yes.
From a business perspective, though, just want to tell you that dividend you don't have to declare, which is to say, dividend does not have to be paid. You don't have to pay dividend regularly. Interest you have to, trade payable the same thing, but dividend no need. When they say declare, that means the business say, yo, I'm doing good, I will pay dividend. I will pay interest to the owners. Business is bad, don't have to pay interest. That means don't have to declare. That's the good thing about dividend. You can declare or you don't declare. Meaning you can say, I want to pay today or to this year, or I don't want to pay this year for reasons, blah, blah, blah. That happens. That happens all the time. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. That means a dividend is a voluntary paying of interest. It is voluntary. How come it's voluntary? We talk from a business perspective. It doesn't make sense from the accounting perspective. From the accounting perspective, it's voluntary, so why bother paying dividend? It just doesn't make sense. Correct? That's the accounting perspective lah. But from a business point of view, if you pay dividend, people are happier with you, and frankly speaking, people then want to buy more share. Buy more share simply means loan you more money to expand the business. So if you want your business to expand without borrowing from the bank, you pay dividend regularly, people then want to loan you even more. because their loan is giving them interest or dividend. I hope that makes sense. That's only one reason why you want to pay dividend. One good reason. Okay?
Yeah.
That's a business point of view. That's not the accounting point of view. For accounting point of view, I don't have to pay, I don't pay lah. Yeah, but business not that simple one. Okay, that's why you're a businessman, not accountant. And if you see, that is almost the end of equity, or this is more precisely the chapter of capital. This is not the chapter of equity, it's wrong. It's the chapter of capital. What people owe, what the business owe the owners. Okay, that's chapter 14. Okay. Chapter 15 will be correction of errors. I think we have to stop there first. Okay. Okay, Kirby. Chapter 13, what we owe the bank, loan or overdraft. Chapter 14, what we owe the owner. That's called capital. Don't think of it as equity, think of it as capital. That means these two chapters should feel and should be done very similarly because it is just loan money, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, you please now read for yourself and then add question marks. You know, the same thing I do when I ask you to do when you the video, right? You're going to read chapter 13, question mark, question mark, question mark. Chapter 14, question mark, question mark. Let's clarify everything. Maybe tomorrow we'll jump into the questions immediately. Please do that.
Okay.
Banyak terus aku lapar lagi. Lagi kacau banget. Ya, kerja di rumah dari peluk. I can see you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Elliot, have you eaten?
Yeah.
Have you taken a bath, freshen yourself, yada yada, the normal things you do when you go home.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can talk. Yeah. So, because I've wanted to do this in Sunday, right? Sunday happened my family event, so we can, right? So I'm going to propose something regarding your math and chem, in order to make your life easier. But we have to discuss it first, lah. Okay, I'm discussing it with you first, not with your parent first, because in the end, I think the decision should start from you, lah. Okay, Elliot?
Yeah.
Okay, so Kirby, just to confirm, you're okay, Kirby? You're still reading the chapter?
Yes.
Yeah. I'll start talking with Elliot first. Okay, Elliot, I'll share the screen. Okay. I'll use your Jamboard, but I'll share my screen so that you can see. Okay, I'll use this Jamboard. Okay. Elliot, a bit of background first, yeah. There's a reason why I'm gonna why I'm proposing certain things to you. The reason is I just give you an example, lah. Do you happen to know John T? Just checking.
No.
All right, so John T is last year Sec 4. That means he's your senior by 1 year, lah, right? John T is example of a student who study multiple subject with me. To clarify, he study chem, pure chem, lah, physics, A math. We end up talking about a little bit of E math because E math, you got to make sure how to get E1, right? So John T did this. Because John T is a little bit, John T's class is good and John T is also well versed in his studies, lah, right? So we just do 2 hours per week. 2 hours per week is very little for 4 subjects, right? Believe it or not, most of the time, we discuss 3 subjects and we still have time left, which is to say he is quite well versed in his subjects, lah, right? But this is a good example of a multiple topic student lah, that was last year. So far, so good.
Yeah.
You should know that by now that I do this kind of multiple subject student quite a lot. Nah, so his result is something like that. Now this often happens with multiple subject student because when I teach multiple subject, it end up being less a burden to the student because I specifically want to, how do I say, I specifically want to reduce the time they need to study and understand. Then secondly, we immediately talk about exam, which again makes the performance in exam better. That's just what I do more with multiple subject student, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah.
Right? So this happened lah. Right? There is another student, this is O-level lah. So for your example, this is O-level. And then I just give you another sample in A-level, a girl also lah. Her name is Keiko. I don't know whether you still remember Keiko. Now, Keiko, A-level, we discuss mainly H2 math in JC level and then H2 chem. Right? Believe it or not, near the A level, we end up talking about how to best study GP and then how to best study literature, a little bit of bio, sometimes we talk about here and there. So this is multiple subject, and then we end up talking about all the other subjects also. Because certain way that she study is preventing her from achieving the best, lah, right? So that's why we kind of discuss how we should study to reduce the pressure. She sometimes a bit high pressure in exam also. That kind of affects her exam performance, right? So this is also a good example of multiple subject student lah. He do 3 hours per week, right? She started from, I think the math fail. Most people fail math in the first year lah, but I guess that's the main trigger for her to want to have tuition. Now, the end result yesterday has come out. The result also looks like this. Okay. Now, this is the expected, not the expected. It's not a guaranteed result, but this is the expected result if if we simply know how to make our study more effective, less tired, less pressure, more proper exam practice, yada yada, it's just expected, if that makes sense to you, right, Elliot?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, your situation from last year is currently one subject, which is AMAT, right? Admittedly, AMAT is the hardest subject and it's 3 hours per week. If you compare this amount with their other amount, this is not a matter of you should study faster. It's a matter of I feel you're not receiving the main benefit that other people could. The reason is because it's not that you're slow. That's not true at all. You're actually quite fast, Elliot. The proof is that you can handle linear law without attending the class. That means you're at least as fast now without actually attending the class. Fair enough. Correct, right? You're keeping up with the class even though you're not attending the class. So you have a certain speed. My point is not that you're slower than them. That's not the point at all. I never rush my student. But my point is that it seems that you are not benefiting as much as the other student. My concern is not limited to AMAT. My concern is, of course, your total L1 R5 lah. Because when we talk about multiple subject, obviously the goal is the total, so to speak, not just one subject. Just focus on one subject, it is very easy for one subject to cannibalize the other subject. Whereas when I teach Jonty and Keiko, I cannot say, let's pretend that physics doesn't exist. Let's sacrifice physics for the sake of Chem and AMath. That cannot happen if we're talking about multiple subjects. We don't just keep the balance. We're trying to make sure everything is. That is, I think, the main thing that I feel you're really missing right now. That's my feeling. Okay, so let's stop here for now, Elliot. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Am I saying something that might be relevant to you? If this is not relevant, we stop here right now. We don't have to talk about this anymore.
Yeah, I guess it's relevant.
Okay, then let's talk about more, because then I can enter my proposal to you. You think about it, you talk about it, we discuss. Only if both of us are certain already, then we talk to your parents. Okay? Would that make sense? That's my goal today. Would that be okay, Elliot?
Yeah.
Okay, so listen to my proposal. This is not me forcing anything to you. This is a proposal. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Before that, Kirby, are you okay so far? Kirby? Kirby?
Yes.
Okay,
I'll
is your question mark piling up? Is your question mark piling up as you read? Kirby?
What?
Are your question marks piling up as you read? Or is it okay so far?
I think it's okay.
Okay, cool. Continue reading slowly because tomorrow we can practice already. Okay,
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So Elliot, the proposal I believe is something like this. You immediately ask if anything is not certain, or if you immediately, if you feel something is not relevant, you just take it out. You don't have to waste too much time listening to me. Okay, understand, Elliot? Okay.
Yeah.
So my proposal is more like this. I believe there is a tension between, there's a slight tension between you and parents. You may want to try the poly route, but your parents and your friend will say it's best to go to JC. Correct? Something
No.
like that. That's the tension.
My parents, like, they're okay with me going poly, wanting to go poly.
Oh,
Like, as long as
that's
I have a
great.
plan.
As long as you are not choosing poly because you have no other option.
Yeah.
As long as poly is not your worst case scenario, something like that.
Yeah.
Now, I can totally understand that. That is definitely a very good attitude from your parents, a very supportive one. What's your attitude towards poly? Is it like the worst case scenario or something like that?
No. It's
Then what do you think about it?
I guess my first plan now.
Oh, which is great, which is great. So you don't see poly as something negative lah, just to be clear.
Yeah.
Okay. My proposal might not be relevant. I'll just say it out. If it is not relevant, then either we change proposal or we don't have to think about it. So my proposal is something like this. Let's aim for a L1 R5 because L1 R5 is JC, right? Okay, I'm just talking about 6 subjects, basically, right? 6 subjects. Let's aim for something appropriate in 6 subjects so that when you go to poly, let's say you with your L1 R5, I don't know, let's make up a number first. Let's make up a number that you think is a bit impossible to reach. What is L1 R5 impossible to reach for you?
6.
6. Well, 6 is too high. I mean just slightly above your reach. So, I don't mean like 6, like way above your reach. I mean, like, for example, is 10 actually impossible, or do you think that's attainable?
10 like raw 10, I probably don't think so.
Raw. So without the minus, let's just easier to calculate, man. So raw lah, no minus.
Okay. 10
10 is like impossible, it is raw, right? Okay, let's talk about 10. So let's pretend for now that our goal is 10. Why bother when you want to go to poly? Because it communicates certain thing to you. It communicates that, hey, see, you can go to JC if you want to, but you choose poly because you want to. If you achieve a good mark, there is a certain effect to that, look. I'm not saying that 10 is the goal. It can be 12, it can be 15, whatever. I don't know. But the point is, first of all, let's set a goal which communicate this very well. You can go to JC if you want to, but you choose poly because you choose poly. It's not because you have no other choice, to that effect, something like that. Obviously, a raw 10 will allow you to take any poly course you want. So that's also something of a bonus effect, no? In that sense. You don't have to worry about what you want to go. You can just go. All right. So
Yeah.
that is my general proposal. You must aim for something that doesn't make you doubt, hey, am I going to poly just because I cannot go to JC? Even though it is my first choice right now. Something like that. Okay, obviously don't aim for 6. There's no need to do that. But aim for something which gives that feeling. In that sense. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, back then when we talk about poly, I have a feeling that you want to take more of an engineering or business point. That still remains true, right? Correct or not?
Not engineering, more medical.
More medical. That's a big change. So you're talking about what? Pharmacy lah, or you're
Yeah,
talking about life sciences
I didn't say
lah.
engineering.
So it's not the physics side of things, but definitely more of a bio side of things, something like that. Life
Yeah.
sciences thing. I see what you mean. Okay, so obviously bio is important, and chem is definitely something that you cannot avoid. You don't want to avoid also. Again, almost all the bio-related courses in poly will be heavy in chemistry, definitely. Just to be clear, okay? Because medical science itself is heavy with chemistry, okay? It's just very heavy, which is pharmacy, or maybe half like life sciences, okay? That's not something you want. Okay, so now my proposal is not so much on should it be AMAT, should it be chemistry, should it be EMAT? No, but how do I say? Let's talk more than AMAT, That's my proposal. Let's talk more than AMAT so that we can make your overall study more effective, considering that you have a bit of a time crunch right now. Your time crunch seems to be from CCA and third language, right? That's one time crunch. And then the third language will continue until the end. Your CCA may end on April, but it's still a little bit of a time crunch. Let's just make your overall study more effective. Okay. So I gotta ask you, man. I gotta ask you, if you don't mind, what is the goal that will say to you, I can go to JC, but I choose to go to Poly? What kind of goal will that be overall?
Like how much L1R5?
Raw. Will communicate to you that, yeah, I can go to JC, but I choose to Poly. That's clear for you. That's clear for everybody also.
Like can I give a range?
Let's have a range for now, but raw, yeah, raw, yeah.
Probably like what? 15 to 10. Not
Okay.
15, like 14 like that. 14, 10.
Yeah, because 16, I don't think communicates that, right? Correct or not? Cannot be.
Yeah.
10 to 14. Let's talk about 14 first, because if 14 doesn't fulfill that, we have to reduce it to 13, correct? Now, 14 can mean something like this, huh? 14 raw, right? 14 raw. 14 raw can mean something. Oh, sorry, before. Kirby, even though time is up, I just want to know, is everything okay?
Yeah.
Everything okay? All right. Then why don't, if nothing else changes, why don't we continue tomorrow looking at exam papers already lah? Why don't
Okay.
we do that for POA?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? We just stick for POA for today and tomorrow lah. Then
Alright.
Thursday we think again lah.
Yeah.
Okay? All right. For that chemistry homework, you do whenever you want, but obviously I suggest you do before Sunday lah, right? That's it.
Yeah.
Good job, Kirby. Hopefully your nose is getting better, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. So let's say 14, Elliot, it looks something like this. Maybe, I don't know, 1, 1. I don't know what is your 1. And then it will be 2, 2, 2. This is 8. This is 6, 8. Oh, then this is 6, which doesn't make sense, right? So maybe it will be more like this. Maybe 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 4. There you go. That's your raw 14. Correct? 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 4. 14. Okay? You can imagine yourself what is the 2, what is the 4, or maybe it's 2, 2, 3, 3, 3 lah. Maybe 2, 2, 2, 3. There you go. So far so good? That's your raw 14.
Yeah.
Does this communicate to you that, yeah, I can go to JC if I want to, but I choose to go to Poly?
I mean, if you lay it out like that, then it doesn't look that nice, I guess. I don't know.
Okay then. So let's say 14 is not okay lah. Because what else is 14 but 2, 2, 2, 3, 3 or 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 4, you know, what else, right? That's where the 14 comes from, right? Okay,
Yeah.
then I'll do something simple, right? I'll do something simple, maybe something like this, you know, either 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, which is 13, right? Or 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, keeping it simple. That's also 13. Okay, now look at 13. Is this communicating to you that, you know, you want to go to JC can, but you choose to go to Poly?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, then your range, first thing first, is not 10 to 14, it's 10 to 13. 14 doesn't count. Okay? Can, yeah?
Yeah.
So far, so good? Yeah. Okay, so let's ignore 14 for now. Now we have to refine it a little bit. Again, you are earnestly wanting to go to Poly, the medical side thingy. You look at your ELR2B2 right now. You look at your ELR2B2 just to make sure that you can actually go to the Poly that you want. Your ELR2B2 currently is either, this is basically 10 lah. Your ELR2B2 is currently 10 lah, assuming that you can let go of the 3. 10 with a minus does get you, I think, almost every Poly course already lah. Definitely already. Just to be clear first, correct?
Yeah.
If you're not sure, you can just check the last year's cutoff lah. So 10, you know, with a lot of community CCA, I guess you should be minusing 2 lah, correct or not? Must be lah, correct? 10
Yeah.
minus 2, 8. Does this communicate to you that you can choose the medical poly, which I guarantee you is academic and is difficult? Is this good enough? Does it make you feel, confident? I have done a good foundation in O level, so if I choose medical poly, which is tough, I will be able to do it well. That's your goal in polyma, to do it well. Does it communicate to you that?
Yeah.
2, 2, 2, 2, 2 will be satisfactory for you. Can ya?
Yeah.
Now I gotta ask more lah. I gotta ask more. Who's the 3 here? In this 13 scenario, like it or not, there will be a 3-1. You look at this for a while. A 13 cannot have no 3. Correct or not? Cannot
Yeah.
1. Must have 3-1. Either 1-3 or 2-3. Correct? Now, who is this 3? Who is it? You think?
Like, what do you mean the subject?
Yeah, the subject. For example, because if you say it's chemistry, then I will argue, wait, you want to go to medical, your chemistry should be better than 3 to give you a better foundation, even though the ELR2B2 is just fine. This is an argument outside ELR2B2. Do you understand?
Yeah.
ELR2B2 is not the full thing. It's a very fair way of measuring, but it's also fair to say that you want your chemistry to be good lah. In fact, I will argue if you want to go to medical, your A math need not be that good. Your chemistry should be better. E math is enough, which is true for most medical studies, by the way, lah. Which is true. That's why I say, who is the 3? You think?
I mean, I never really thought about it like that deeply. Yeah.
Should you, or are we wasting time here? You think about it. I'll tell you the reason why I say this lah. It's not for poly. It's mostly for JC student. I know you're not going to JC, but I keep telling all JC students like this. Hey, your A math cannot be B3 lay if you want to handle your H2 math well. I did tell you last time, right? The price you pay in JC is to study H2 math. If you want to study H2 math properly, your A math foundation need to be good. If not, you'll be suffering more than necessary. B3 is usually not good enough for a good foundation. You will feel that the H2 math is very punishing. Now, the reason why I talk about this, the considerations outside ELR2B2, the consideration outside L1 R5 is because usually for JC purposes. And now you tell me you want to medical poly. Same thing lah, Elliot. You need to have some considerations there. It's just that AMAT is now not the most or the biggest consideration, I believe. It's now chem and bio, basically. Chem, bio, math. Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair. Different target course, different subject consideration. Because if you go to poly, you want to be on the top 20% so that you can go to university quickly. That was your, so to speak, end goal, ma. Correct or not?
Yeah.
I hope I'm not making this up. If you want to go to whatever poly, you need to aim for the top 20%. In a medical related subject, of course, that's harder one. Of course, that's harder. But if you get to this, you can get to uni immediately, which is your goal. So it's not a big stretch for me to say, carefully, you want your foundation to be strong from now. That makes some sense lah. Correct or not? Am I making this up? Am I trying to scare you or what? Which one? You decide.
Okay.
If I'm not scaring you, then hear me out. That means if you are confident, if you go to poly to get the top 20%, you're not shortchanging yourself, no? You are reasonably confident. You go to poly not to avoid JC only. You are less likely to achieve top 20% in poly, if your mentality at the back of your mind is to avoid GC, that means you're avoiding a certain academic rigor, correct? That's what you're afraid of in JC. I don't want that, like something like that. But in poly, you will also be demanded a certain academic rigor, maybe not as bad as JC. You certainly do not want to do that with a mindset of avoiding JC in that sense. You don't want that entirely. I hope I'm making some sense here.
Yeah.
Back to the tree law. So you tell me, who is the tree there? You tell me, who's the likely tree? Certainly you have some options.
Then based on that, it should be A math.
All right, let's put AMAT here. I have some students who decided very late that AMAT should be B3, but not before. Clear now? This is what you're deciding. You're decided AMAT should be minimum B3, but maybe no need A lah. However, you should not accept that AMAT is before. Clear, right? Clear, yeah? Clear first, yeah? Right. Some students decided on that rather late, and therefore it makes the study very ineffective. I mean, to be fair, deciding on your goal early makes your overall study more effective. It may even benefit your AMAT later on. In that sense, because everything is clear, so to speak. Again, some students will decide later on, look and see first lah, look at prelim first lah, then decide the goal. Yeah, less time to, less time to optimize. I don't know how to express. I hope you understand, right? Deciding later is not necessarily the best thing also. Clear, yeah? It's better to decide based on the likely goals. So if you decide AMAT must be B3, you have a good reason for it. This is the reason. Top 20% polymedical going to uni direct. That's the goal. Reasonable. So just to be clear, here you should have your bio and your chem, correct or not? You should lah. Make sense or not?
Yeah.
I believe for you to be confident, your bio and chem should at least be A2. I don't think you can avoid these three. I don't think it's not very good lah. It's better for your bio and chem to be A2, A2. Make sense or not? Better lah. Okay, so here you have your bio and chem. That gives you more confidence going to. But you're already canceling this law. You don't want that already. Biochem. So you have already placed your biochem and AMath, right? So your English, EMath, and third language, correct? Must be here lah. This will be English, EMath, third language, correct? Am I correct to say this? This is how you would plan your L1, R5 lah?
Like for language.
I thought you take that language because you want to replace your humanities. No, sorry, am I getting it wrong? Sorry. What?
No, I
thought
think
that's
the
why you take the language.
no.
Oh, you don't take the language, you take the basic Chinese. I'm so sorry. I'm very confused. I'm very confused. So not the language. So tell me, what is here? English, E-Math, and humanities lah, correct?
Yeah.
Humanities. Okay, I mean, personally, I don't care about your humanities, but you should care for the sake of, ELR2, B2. So if it's correct or not, English 2, E-Math 2, humanities 2. Correct or not?
But I feel like my English is always A2, A1. Then humanities
So what does
also.
that mean? What does that mean? So English 2 is too little or what?
Yeah, I feel like I could hit A1.
Okay. Now, think about this from this point of view, yeah? You don't want your bio to be lesser than 2. Fixed, man? Correct or not? This is fixed already. Chem also don't want to be lower than 2 for the sake of, poly, medical, top 20%, whatever. And AMAT shouldn't be lower than B3. No. And you're figuring that English should be lesser than 1. Of course, I support that lah. Cetek 1. Currently, this is 12 already. Currently lah. We haven't talked about EMAT and humanities. Do you understand? 13 is no
Yeah.
longer suitable for you depending on your E-Math and humanities, but now you know why at least. So now English, you're aiming for A1. Of course, I support that. How about your E-Math and your humanities, whichever first?
I think both can stay A2.
Okay. Humanities, I have no comment. I mean, humanities too, I think is very, very high. You know, I'm quite proud if any of my students get humanities A2. E-Math though, I want to talk about E-Math. I think it will be better if your E-Math is 1, if your A-Math is 3. I think. Comparatively, 2 also fine.
Yeah.
That gives you a sense that you are not, how to say, it's not that you have to achieve both correct or both fine, but you know that your math will not give you any problem. You know that. So it's either 2-2 or 1-3 or 3-1 also up to you. In fact, 3-1 also good, whatever. 3-1 also acceptable. You know, some of my students get A-Math 1 and E-Math 3, you know, that happens. Yeah, but I think that still gives the impression that math is not going to be a problem. You can handle math moving forward. I think it's kind of fair to say that lah, so to speak. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, this is a goal instead of what you achieve. So you decide. You want 1-3, 2-2, or 3-1, or you can say any combination as long as it's not 2-3. Is that a reasonable goal?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll put it this way, okay? I'll put it this way. This is link because it's both math, right? Both math. This has to be total 4. Keeping it simple. Okay? Total 4.
Yeah.
Which means right now, this is now 11. You check one more time, correct or not?
But this is like best case scenario if I reach
No.
the goal.
No. Get it straight. Wait. Now we talk about how to achieve that, right? Okay. Previously, we're just talking about a goal which give you the sense that you are not choosing poly because you're avoiding JC. You're choosing poly because you're confident you can go top 20% go to uni. That is the goal that gives you that impression. To be clear, 13 is probably enough already for polymedical. But you must understand that if you do that, you will encounter many people who are, who did better because obviously it's just a cutoff point. There is that sense. We
Yeah.
haven't talked about how to achieve that. We haven't. Okay, but we're talking about a goal that will make sense from this perspective. Okay, I wouldn't call this best case scenario right now. I will call this unachievable for you right now. It's not even best case. Using your current ability, best case, you don't get 11. Correct or not?
Yeah.
Maybe in your best case scenario right now, you will get 15 or 14. I don't. But let's just say it's definitely not 11. If that makes some sense, this is a not achievable scenario right now.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about this? Because it must give you a meaning if you chase this. There is no point in chasing 11 for the sake of 11. There is really no point. Let's not do that. I mean, I never ask my students to do that lah. When I ask them their goal, I ask them, so why? Why like this? Why like that? What is your point in all this? If not, just achieve 14 and be happy lah. Why bother too much? I mean, why bother with tuition, I think if you stop tuition right now, maybe you can achieve 14 already by yourself. Why bother with all this stuff? If that makes some sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, look at this. This is 11. This is unachievable. It means something. Do you want to change anything at all first? Or question anything or lower something? I don't know. Do you want that?
No.
Okay. Let me confirm that you have a final. Is there another final subject here? Is there another subject here? Just checking. The subject that we don't care. Is there anything else?
What do you mean that we don't care?
Like, is there any other subject not inside L1 R5 here? I'm sorry, because I don't know your complete subject list. I'm just checking here. Maybe you have a pure humanities or something like that. I don't know.
No,
You know?
I don't think so.
Okay. Then you don't. Okay. So this is the subject list lah, and the subject list finish already because that's all lah. Correct, yeah? Clear, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, time is almost up. I think we have to continue next time, but that means now I have to try my best to explain to, sorry, I probably cannot include one. I have to try my best to explain to you how your EMAT, CAM, and AMAT we learn together. This is either 3 hours per week or slightly more. Let's just say 3 to 4, okay? I think maybe 4 more realistic at the start only. We'll reduce that to 3 hours per week when we can. EMAT, CAM, and AMAT, we talk about how to achieve, what is this? Whatever, 222. Let's just call that 222. How to achieve 222 because currently you're not sure how to achieve that. That is what I must try to explain to you, maybe on Thursday or something like that. And I've already started to explain to you by at least giving you a track record. I hope this makes sense. I'm not speaking theory. Whatever I will explain to you, they at least experience your senior. I hope this makes some sense right now because we have to probably stop now.
Yeah.
Okay. So on Thursday, after we clear up all the stuff, then I will continue talking about it, I guess. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, hopefully, all this will end up in something good. Hopefully, but if not, I think we just wasted a few hours. I think that's okay. Okay, Elliot. All the best for tomorrow. I will see you on Thursday. All right.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hey, wait a minute. Sorry. Wait. Sorry, Elliot. Wait, one more time. Oh, this Thursday is fine. I'm sorry. This Thursday, yes. Okay. The next Thursday will be a problem. I think I have to talk about later. Okay. I'll see you this Thursday. Bye.
Bye-bye.